1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 4.
Hello everyone, I am Be Better Gamer and welcome to Be Better Gamer Wrestling. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. This channel is dedicated to wrestling video games fueled by my love, passion, and obsession for them. In this video, I am playing WWF No Mercy for the N64, part of my favorite series of wrestling games, and I am bringing you another CAW I made. In the vanilla version of this game, no mods, no hacks, anything like that. I am bringing you my Yokozuna CAW. Yokozuna, one of the, I would say, most impressionable characters for myself as a kid watching, 90s era WWF. So this was definitely a throwback in making this CAW. A Yokozuna, which I don't know if I actually ever made a Yokozuna back in the day, so I always did want to make one because you can make him pretty easily in the game. Profile, music, appearance, moves, fighting style, parameter, all that stuff you can find in the description below. I typed everything out for the full CAW in a template, but right now I'm just going to go over the appearance for you. So let's start with the body. Body fat too. I hate to say it, but come on, there's no denying. Yokozuna was a big man. Skin tone there was the 4th skin tone. Head male 4. You can also go with male 5. I guess male 5 gives him more of a smaller, rounder head, but I went with male 4 because it gives him a sort of a bigger presence. Face male 90. I have seen a lot of people, usually when a lot of people make Yokozuna in WWF No Mercy, they just give him Rikishi's face, and you could totally go in that direction. But I don't know, he looks a little bit more not as mean. Yokozuna had a very intimidating face and presence, so I went with face 90, which is actually, I think, the unmasked face for Hayabusa. Hair, I went with ponytail 2 and front hair 27. Now you could go with front ponytail 1. Originally that's the direction I went with, but I decided to go with ponytail 2 and of course the hair color black, because a lot of times he started with his hair in a bun, but as the match went on, the bun fell out into a ponytail and he had quite a long hair. Yokozuna did. Ring attire Mawashi, which is sort of the Yokozuna attire with the tights coming out under it, which is exactly what he wore when he wrestled, and taped for the feet. Both the taped and the ring attire, the Mawashi ring attire, you have to buy in the SmackDown shop. It's very inexpensive. You should get it fairly easily. And that's it. That's pretty much Yokozuna. I mean, you can make him exactly how he looked in the game. They did include his ring attire on purpose, I like to believe. For the second attire, I just gave him an elbow pad. Later on, in his, after his first year, you saw him wearing a elbow pad a lot, and then a couple of years after he made his big debut in WWE, he started rocking this beard goatee look. So you can also do that. I went with facial hair 27 if you want to do that look. His third attire, very rarely did you see him wear alternate colors for his Yokozuna outfit. A couple that I spotted was this black and not black and white, that's the next one, red and white, and there was actually 2 different versions of the red and white. I went with this one. Kind of reminds me of E Honda from Street Fighter a little bit, and his taped feet were actually white every time he wore the red and white outfit. So you can do either or, whichever one you want. And he also had a black and white outfit, which was also very rare that he wore. A lot of those outfits you saw very early on before he became WWF World Champion. I don't know if he wore anything other than the black and the red after becoming world champion. He might have on very limited appearances, but there you go. Yokozuna, one outfit is really all you need for Yokozuna, but I always like making 4 outfits whenever possible. Again, you can check out the whole rest of the CAW in the description below. I have everything typed out in a template, in a Google Docs spreadsheet. So just go ahead and click on that link, and yeah, let me know what you think about the CAW, the outfit, if you did anything different. Again, I'm playing the vanilla version of WWF No Mercy. I'm making this as if we had, no internet, where we couldn't do mods and ROM hacks back in the day. I know a lot of times I get comments, it's like, well, you could just do a ROM hack, you could just do a texture. I know I can, but I like to create characters in these games like it's the year 2000 all over again. And we're gonna jump into a match to show you a little bit what I did with him moveset wise. Yokozuna, what a lot of people also do with Yokozuna, which I think is kind of interesting, is they also make him, you can just make him like an alternate outfit for Rikishi. And again, yes, there's a lot of relation there because Yokozuna was part of the Anoa'i family, the legendary Anoa'i family, the Samoan dynasty in wrestling. The Wild Samoans, Roman Reigns, Rikishi, Samu, Rosie, Manu, Umaga, The Rock, the Usos. They're all related to Yokozuna. Everyone's related. Specifically, he's cousins to Roman Reigns, Rikishi's, The Rock. Usos are his first cousins once removed, and the Wild Samoans, Afa and Sika, were his uncles. And that's a dynasty that, spreads all the way back from the very beginning of WWF. And when Yokozuna first came in, though, to the WWF, he was presented as Yokozuna, which is a Japanese gimmick, which he's not. He's not Japanese. And when I was a kid, I thought he was Japanese. I didn't know. He comes out with Mr. Fuji, and they're waving the Japanese flag. This was 1993 he made his debut. So I would have been, how old would I have been? 1993. I was born in 86. So I would have been about 7 or 8. And in Japanese, Yokozuna actually means the highest rank you can achieve in sumo. That's what they give their grand champions. They give them the rank of Yokozuna. And what's funny about that, doing research on Yokozuna, whose real name is Rodney Inoue, he wrestled in New Japan before coming to WWF. He wrestled in New Japan originally as the Great Kokina, embracing his Samoan heritage and gimmick. So I thought that was kind of funny how in Japan he wrestled as a Samoan, but then when he came to WWF, they made him Japanese. And I don't think you can get away with that these days in WWF, but as a kid, when Yokozuna did make his appearance, I was intimidated. I was impressed to see a man that big. He was 6'4", which I didn't realize he was that tall. They always build him as plus 500 pounds. Going back and watching some of the matches, it was funny how every pay-per-view he showed up, they always said, oh, he's bigger than ever. He's 505, now he's 530, now he's 550. Larger than life character. And going back and watching it, as a kid, I remember, you see me, I'm playing against The Undertaker right now, and I remember the casket matches he had with The Undertaker. I remember him winning the WWF Championship at WrestleMania from Bret Hart, the very controversial win from Bret Hart where Hogan ran in like a minute later and won the title off of him. Him fighting Bret Hart again at WrestleMania 10, fighting Bret Hart and Lex Luger again because Lex Luger and Bret Hart both won the Rumble, and they had to fight Yokozuna at WrestleMania 10, and Bret Hart would win the championship from him. Yokozuna himself, Royal Rumble winner, winning the 93 Royal Rumble, being the first Royal Rumble winner to face the WWF champion at WrestleMania, by the way. And I had all these memories of him as a kid, and going back and doing research, his run was very short in the WWF. He only went from 93 to 96. His last match was at Survivor Series 96. You see me playing in Survivor Series here. A lot of importance, I think, for Yokozuna at Survivor Series, specifically like with his casket match with The Undertaker, one of his 2 casket matches with The Undertaker. But in his short time, he was a very dominant monster heel, and at the time WWF loved the larger-than-life monster hero characters, and you couldn't get more larger-than-life. Here we go, going with the Banzai Drop, the infamous Banzai Drop. I think that even though Yokozuna was only around for a small amount of time in the mid-90s, he made a large impact, no pun intended. He really did. Inducted into the WWF Hall of Fame class of 2012. I think down the line I might have to do a full Yokozuna episode, because just talking about him for a few minutes doesn't do it really any justice. So if you have the WWE Network, I highly recommend going on, watching some Yokozuna, watching his matches with The Undertaker. I think they were the most fun. They were very stereotypical mid-90s WWF, but very entertaining. And Yokozuna, he had this presence about him. He had this swagger in a time where everyone was very cartoony and colorful and over the top. And Yokozuna was presented as an over-the-top character, but he played it so straight. He played it so serious. And, you know, he had that swagger that you see in a lot of the, you know, other members of his family have to this day, like The Rock, like Roman Reigns, like the Usos. It's a shame that he passed away at such a young age. He was only 34, which is just terribly young to pass away. But I hope you like this call. I hope you check out some Yokozuna on the WWE Network. Definitely, I think maybe one of the most underrated big men in the history of wrestling. But check out my other WWF No Mercy videos, my Let's Plays, my CAWs. Make sure you follow me on social media, twitch.tv/BeBetterGamer. Until next time, you know what to do. Keep watching all the wrestling. Take it easy, everyone.